is of course, particularly is not that everybody had this meditation part. It's generally for the practitioners. Because everybody don't really practice. Don't do the meditation, concentrations, meditation. But this case is those who are practicing Bardo of the meditation. And again, Bardo is not necessarily only the next after death. Bardo is, as said, or the teaching said, from the time we diluted until we reach the enlightenment, whole thing is really Bardo. So it's nothing kind of necessarily is unusual or bad or the strange, but it's just Bardo like that. So when we are, for example, practicing meditation, then we should make that meditation more call it not meditation, call it practices. That is so important. That's it. In the Bardo of the meditation, like meditation is dawning. Here translated the contemplation. In the Tibet is something. Something is, I think, in Sanskrit word dhyan. Dhyan, and translated into Tibet, something. Samba, tempo in the Tibet. Samba means mind, tempo means stable. So very stable mind. That actually means concentration or the meditation. So meditation, as that basically you all know, there's, in the general speaking, in the Buddhism point of view or Buddha's teaching, there's two meditations. Shamatha meditation and Vipassana meditation. These two are the meditation. Shamatha is then what? Is stabilizing the mind. Present in our mind, we all know, so much busy, so much unstable. I mean, most time, our mind is carried by with all different emotion thoughts, one after another. And those generally in the teaching, again, say there's three kinds of thoughts. And positive thought, negative thought, and a neutral thoughts. And if we start to kind of highlight of those, every kind of observing to our thought, distantly looking to what kind of really thought we have among the three categories. Most of the time is maybe somehow connected with the emotions, our thoughts. And then a little bit or more, maybe very neutral, negligent thought. Very little positive thought. If we count percentage level, maybe 60% maybe emotional thought. 20% maybe, or 25 points really neutral thought, or 30. And maybe 15 or 10 positive thought. Maybe that's how really it is. It is, and that's what we are, whether we believe it or not. When we're talking more practically, looking inwardly to ourselves, by ourselves, without watching big boss behind. And we look ourselves. And everything, more practically, think that's really the way out, most of the time. And that positive, negative means what? Most of the time is then, as Buddha taught, the 3 poisons, or the 5 poisons, or the 6 poisons. Those are the negatives. So that our mind is most of the time wondering combination of those 3, 5, or 6, all kind of highlight one of those. Those are the most of the time thoughts. And then neutral thought and positive. And this neutral, positive and negative is the strong producer of the karmic effects, according to the teaching. That produces strongly karma. That, what we do, it responds back to ourselves. We accumulated that karma where? In the teaching said, in our life. So according to the strength and the degree, consequence of the action of this our mind, of the whether it is positive, whether it is negative, we created the karma. And the positive actions result of the karma known as then good karmas. A negative result to action or result in actions is then bad karmas. That consequence is bad. And that kind of echoes back to ourselves. This is generally law of the nature. Whatever we do, it really responds. Most of the time that we even can see that we see. Anger brings more anger. Loving kindness brings more loving kindness. And joy brings more joy. And sadness brings more sadness. And that we can see. It's not nature is hiding, deceiving us, but we can really see. Even we see, even we know, due to our ego clinging, due to our all this defilement, we act reluctantly and kind of almost cover up ourselves, then we do all these things. But Buddha highlight all this, or pointed out and highlight all that, and therefore we as practitioners, we try to correct those things by ourselves, with mindfulness, with alertness and consciousness, that we try to really correct those things. That is known as the practice of the Dharma. So in this way, when we started thinking of the meditation concentrations, so emotions are always very, very disturbances. And therefore, then this shamatha meditation is very important at the beginning time, particularly always, of course, it's important, always that shamatha meditation. And in Buddha's teaching, as I think maybe you heard that, there is like many emotions. For example, when you have the attachment problems in the Buddha teaching in the shamatha level, Buddha said, meditate on the kind of like what's called something that you don't attach it. Meditate on that. That means attachment. When we attach it, we're always looking on the surface. Surface. Then we attach it. But Buddha said, look deep of that. Behind that scene of that surface, look deeply. Then think, oh, what is that? Where you attach it, what that has. Even the surface looks so nice. It maybe looks like a cover up things. But behind the scene, there is also smells. And Buddha think that behind those smelling, not just only thinking on the surface. And those are sometimes, I'm sure you read the book, the ugliness, dirty. This is not just Buddha making up that, but those are the really truly existing behind the scene of that home we attach it. So therefore, Buddha said, if you so attach it, so much attachment, think of those behind the scenes. There's many different categories of that you go move forward, one up another, all that, and trying to break down your attachment so we can rest our mind that more calm, peaceful. And then if we have more emotions of anger, and Buddha said, meditate on the loving kindness. More bring love, loving kindness. Bring more love. Why? For example, when we get angry must be doing some mistakes, others doing some mistakes. They're doing something that we don't feel happy. But again, look behind the scene. They're doing that activity because it's not so wise. They're doing that activity because of the stupidity, ignorance. So, therefore, it is not the error of that persons, but it's mistakes, consequences of that stupidity, ignorance. And therefore, I should feel love, kind, trying to really bring more love. Even you didn't express immediately love, but bring more passion thought. Patience is part of the loving kindness. Bring more passion, more tolerance, and let it go. Apply the teachings. So therefore, in the teaching said that will also reduce the restlessness of the mind, of the wildness, and bring more calm and peaceful of the shamatha meditation. Buddha gave many different versions of the shamatha meditations. And then if we get so much, again, problem with ignorance.